Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Digest. This is your host, Godfrey Gishuke, and I'm excited that you're tuned in. We welcome you to join us on this very, very wonderful morning, the 16th day of August 2021. The year is rolling very, very fast indeed, but we're grateful that the Lord has given us a great morning. This morning I have on the set a friend and a gentleman that is going to help us in the conversation today. Is going to be, we are handling a very hot political issue today. I'm sure you noticed that Monday mornings we seem to lean towards political conversations. For now, I guess that's one of the biggest conversations that is, you know, in the airwaves. I mean, it's everywhere in the papers. So we are diving right in. We just want to be part of that conversation and contribute and join in the conversation excellently. So my guest today is Ken Ngure. Ken, welcome to the show this morning. How are you doing?
Thank you, Gigi, for having me on this show. I really appreciate and welcome our viewers to be with us for this interesting topic on the scramble for Mount Kenya. I mean, that topic takes me back to the scramble for Africa.
Yeah.
The scramble for Africa. And in that scramble for Africa, I just remembered that today is date 16.
Yes.
So 4 days ago, on August 12th, in 1897,
right,
that's when Kenya officially became a British protectorate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 days ago in 1897. So the more things change, the more things become the same. Now we are looking at the scramble for Mount Kenya.
Absolutely.
This will be a host show.
All right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so the idea of scrambling for a region is more than 100 years old.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the scramble continues.
The scramble continues.
Only that this time round we are talking about scramble for a regional's vote.
Yes.
Well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube channels, Elevate TV Kenya, and also on, of course, Elevate TV Kenya, YouTube, Elevate TV Kenya, Facebook. So please join us and let's join in the conversation. You're free to give us your comments. We can see the comments right here. And we want you to join us in the conversation and tell us what you think about this massive scramble for a very significant region in this country whenever it comes to the elections. And so we're going to begin the conversation, and let's start from Ken. First of all, a brief introduction of yourself. I know you're the youth leader for the Service Party.
Yes.
So you can give us a little bit of background and your association with the Service Party, and I think then we can start from there.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think for me as part of the team in the Service Party, our agenda in TSP is, and our philosophy is anchored in two things.
Right.
Agriculture and trade.
Okay.
And youth, and specifically I'm more on the aspect of youth mobilization, because the dynamics of politics in this country has changed from what it has been to more service-oriented. People are looking for servants. People are looking for leaders who put their interests first.
Right.
Leaders who change the narrative and the way things have been, because Kenyans are really suffering and hurting. Things have gone worse. Cost of living has gone up, and and really there's a lot of disenchantment among the populace in this country.
Right.
So as the Service Party, our agenda is to make sure that we come with the mindset and with the attitude that we are here to serve people, to help them, to lift and make their lives better and make their livelihoods become more meaningful. I mean, yeah. So that whatever you do, you're able to prosper in it. You're able to be dependent on yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you're really looking at. So myself and much of the work I do has to deal with youth on issues of drugs and substance abuse, mental health, I mean, mobilization on digital media and such.
All right. Okay. Yeah, and there is a very big challenge. I mean, if you look at one of the biggest challenge among young people and men, especially in Mount Kenya, is the issue of drug abuse, particularly alcohol.
Yes.
There are a lot of if you go to the villages of Kenya, you're likely to stumble on one drunk man or another. I mean, even many.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
even as early as now,
yes.
8 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, the high on something.
Yeah, so I think that's a big problem. I mean, if somebody can solve that problem, that's going to be that's a very significant contribution to the national change and transformation. Excellent, Ken. So so you said you're anchored on two main things. Yes. That is agriculture and trade.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Why agriculture?
Well, this is the backbone of the economy of Mount Kenya. You look at Mount Kenya contributes to around 60%, 50 to 60% of the GDP in terms of agriculture. Agriculture itself contributes 35% of the GDP to the country.
Yes.
Looking at the Malabo Declaration, which says that you have to apportion 10% of every year's budget to agriculture.
Yes.
But for the last many years, and even looking at the budget we had, I think we got around 3-4%. So that serves as a disadvantage. You look at the financial sector, most banks shy away from funding agriculture because for banks, they say that's the easiest way to burn their fingers. I mean, you invest money in agriculture, you are not sure these crops will fail.
Okay.
You put in some money in real estate, you are sure the building will come up, you get a little rent, and the loan can be repaid.
Okay.
But for agriculture, banks shy away. So, and we as a Service Party, we were much involved in the formation of what is called the agricultural sector growth and transformation strategy.
Okay.
That is being used in this country from 2019 up to 2030.
Okay.
And therefore, because we were part of that process, we would like to see it grow.
Okay.
And to see it come to fruition.
Okay.
On the second issue of trade.
Yes.
Looking at ease of doing business in this country.
Okay.
Looking at at the young people. How easy is it for a young person to come up with an innovation? How easy is it for a young person to get funds for a startup? I mean, what bottlenecks have existed? And therefore, we're coming across board from the rural areas, from regions across the country and see, especially in Mount Kenya, what are young people doing that can make their trade be meaningful and be fruitful.
Absolutely.
So that we are able to now shift the conversation and get them out of drugs and substance abuse into being able to work.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So that's very good, Ken. You know, one of the things I've been rooting for is the idea of defining the problem properly. Yes. Because I think politics tend to tilt and you know, just swing towards a lot of rhetoric, a lot of sloganeering. You know, people will pick up an issue, build a slogan around it, and they just hammer it and get the votes. And then after that, really, there is no real tangible strategy involved. Hardly do you hear numbers, and I'm very happy that you're talking about numbers. You're talking about policy, turning points like the Malabo. Maybe some people don't understand what's that Malabo. It was a conference was that in Nigeria?
in Malabo town. I can't remember where, but it's Malabo is a city.
Yes, yes.
And there are several declarations done. On health, you have the Abuja Declaration,
yes,
which says 15% of the budget should go to health.
Yes.
I mean, there are certain policies anchored in international agreements and even in our own laws,
yes,
regarding critical sectors of a nation.
Yes.
I mean, critical sectors like health, agriculture, trade, security, and education. There are certain declarations that researches have been done.
Yes.
And it has been shown that if you give 15% to health, if you give 10% to agriculture,
yes,
the outcome is the nation will rise and grow.
Absolutely. And Ken, I agree with you. I actually want to agree with you because I've also had, you know, this guy, PLO Lumumba, you know, of course he's not here on the show, but we can quote him.
Absolutely.
He's been very, very, you know, well spoken of the agri, you know, revolution in Africa, and I think that's a conversation that we need to have. So agriculture is a major area of focus. Yes. So TSP focuses on those two areas: youth. I mean, we say trade and agriculture. Yes. So what do you think? Because you see, one of the things I keep hearing every time you talk about trade, and we can talk about trade for a bit. Every time we talk about trade, before we come to the scramble, every time we talk about trade, I don't hear really the real issues. So maybe you can open up that little space. What exactly are the problems for trade, and what needs to be done about them?
There are specific challenges affecting trade in our country. One is access to markets.
Okay.
Number two, in such a way that right here in Kinangop, Nyandarua,
yes,
you have somebody who has potatoes rotting in his shamba.
Okay, yes.
But
yes,
down here where we are in this building,
yes,
we have somebody who has a chips hotel but has no supplies.
Yes.
I mean, he's struggling to get somebody who can supply to that. So we are helping coming up with structures that will help the farmer access the hotel directly without middlemen.
Okay.
Secondly, the other thing that affects agriculture is access to capital.
Okay.
And we are saying that something like 1 acre fund, which our party leader has been advocating all along, where a farmer in a place like Western Kenya who has 1 acre is held on his hand by an agricultural extension officer. And they are taught how to manage their land and how to do home economics to ensure that what they have is productive enough.
Absolutely.
The other thing that affects trade in our country is the agreement we have had.
Yes.
Where you have agreements that regional agreements, for example, where the agreement works to the disadvantage of your farmers.
Okay.
Finding, for example, eggs from Uganda are cheaper than eggs from Wangige.
Yes. By the way, on the eggs issue, I would like you to...
you know, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. So, considering that person has produced the eggs in Uganda, transported them from Kampala up to Nairobi.
Yes.
The one who has locally. But you find the ones from Uganda are still cheaper. So on that issue, you look at inputs to agriculture.
Yeah, so it could be a problem of inputs. It could be a problem of maybe border control issues.
Yes.
Maybe the Ugandan guy is paying zero tax. You know, ideally there must be some tax scenarios at the border. I mean,
what happens is that when a nation like this, there was a agriculture free trade area, Africa free trade area. That and the COMESA agreement, that sometimes works to the disadvantage of Kenya.
Okay.
Because cross-border for such critical foods,
yeah.
You know, right now that bringing in is almost tax-free.
Okay.
You know, as we speak right now, GG, much of the beans used in Kenya come from Ethiopia.
Okay.
Beans. Much of the fruits you eat here in Nairobi comes from Tanzania.
Yes,
but we have
especially oranges. Yes.
Oranges.
Yes.
But we have people farming that in our country. We have people farming that in Mount Kenya. So therefore, for us as TSP, we are looking at policy shifts to the advantage of the Kenyan first.
Absolutely. Okay, Kenyan first. Yeah, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Kenyan first sounds familiar because, you know, we watched last year was U.S. elections and, you know, Trump was running on the slogan of America first.
Yes.
So I think Kenyan first is also, you know, it's an easy way of, you know, it's a useful way of, you know, forecasting policy. And there's somebody here following us called Benson Cairo. He's asking, what is the position of the young people in TSP? How will the TSP involve youth in entrepreneurship? So Benson, we're going to be answering that question plus many others. So Benson, keep watching. I'm sure we will have Ken answer that. So one of your followers here is asking you to explain some of these things. So I like what we're talking about, Ken. So TSP has a serious policy. So maybe to answer Benson Cairo's you know, question, the issue of how youth can be involved in entrepreneurship. I think, Ken, you agree with me. The idea of getting youth involved in entrepreneurship, I think everybody knows that that's a major game changer.
Yes.
So perhaps you could speak into that.
You see, the greatest need for youth,
Yes.
According to us,
Yes.
is skills.
Okay.
Whether formal or informal.
Okay.
That's the greatest need. Where you give a youth a skill that they'll make a living out of it.
Okay.
And therefore for us as TSP, what we have done is that we are in 19 counties as of today.
Okay.
Where we are sure that in this county we have a base, we have even aspirants and candidates in those 19 counties. Yeah. And what we are doing per county is identifying youth who are involved in agriculture and in trade.
Okay.
Then we'll bring them together and take them through trainings and equipping.
Okay.
And teach them how you can access capital, and work with them from the day they begin their businesses to the end until they become fruitful. And as we do that we open that, and our trainings will make them both face-to-face and online. And we are open. I mean, you come to us, we'll help you access, tell you this is how you can access the funds from government, this is what you need to do at this stage. And seeing that, we are able now to help as many youth as who come to us. We've identified, I've been on the process, like for example, a case scenario of Murang'a County.
Yes.
I have identified youth who are involved in agriculture, in environmental health, in issues to do with the drugs and substance abuse. And I'm working with them to see how we can bring meaningful change in their lives. Okay. We have a team, for example, in Laikipia, in Nanyuki, at a place called Likie. Yes. We have helped a group of youth there led by my friend Jimmy Palmer. And that team of youth, we have helped them start up a very huge poultry enterprise. Okay. And they're doing very well. I mean, they have been able to gather most young people from drugs and substance abuse. And we'll be going there to launch it very soon. It's already ongoing, but we have it like a major launch. And we have practical things we are doing as TSP. Beyond rhetoric, beyond talk. Yes. We can tell you this project, we are involved and it's working.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, Ken, I agree with you that sometimes even though you may have a grand national vision, sometimes it's good to do one very specific thing and get it done and becomes a kind of a source of inspiration and modeling for others. So I like the, you know, what you're talking about, the pigs project in Laikipia Poultry project. It's poultry, not pigs. Okay, very good. And there is need. Absolutely, I think we cannot satisfy the poultry. And now I can understand why you're talking about the Uganda eggs, because that affects your projects directly. Yes. Okay, very good, very good. So Medic Karanja is following us. He's saying great show, my colleague. So there's a friend of yours who is following us on this show. Very good. This is a Morning Digest. We're talking about the scramble for Mount Kenya vote. And of course, the context of that is the fact that there are political parties that are really making inroads. They are building their base, and TSP is one of those. And Ken is the leader in TSP. remember, this Morning Digest is really a platform to bring these conversations to the fore and help you guys to know what's going on. So, Ken.
Yes.
Now, TSP, so let's go to the politics side of things.
Yes.
The other day, TSP won a parliamentary seat. Is that correct?
No, that was UDA.
What about Juja?
That was PEP.
Oh, PEP, the
Korea's party.
Okay.
Right now, I know there are so many parties. Let me tell you, Mount Kenya has 35 political parties.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
35 political parties, and the names are all so close such that you might miss on it. That Judeja was won by PEP. The current MP is George Koimburi. Kiamba was won by UDA under Honorable Kawanjiko John.
Yes.
What TSP we did, we decided that one, you either choose to fight battles or to win the war.
Okay.
And we didn't field candidates in by-elections.
On those two?
On those two by-elections. And actually all by-elections. Why?
Okay.
Because studying politics of this country,
yes,
you tell you, parties that perform in by-elections close to the election coming up, never perform very well in the elections.
Okay.
And you can take case scenario. All by-elections that were held before 2013 were won by MT.KENYA of our friend Mother Karua, through guys like Akina Sonko, Kabogo. They came in through the wave of MT.KENYA when Mother Karua was Justice Minister. I mean, but where are they? How it happened after that?
Okay.
Therefore, for us as TSP, we are preparing our ground. And we're doing a lot of researches led by our party leader to go to the ground, and these 19 counties that I'm telling you, and identify strong candidates who you are sure this person, through research on the ground and through talking to the people and identifying who we win. And the people who are on our side, you can be sure, will win in the upcoming elections. And let me tell you one thing that happens in Mount Kenya, Gigi.
Yes.
80% of the elected leaders never come back.
Okay.
80%.
So that's a very significant, piece of statistics. 80%.
A case scenario.
Yes.
Murang'a County.
Yes.
35 MCAs who were there in 2013 to 2017. 35.
Yes.
Only 2 were re-elected.
Okay.
Only 2 are re-elected.
Okay.
For the MPs, I think only 1 or 2 again.
Yes.
And that spans whole across the region of Mount Kenya.
Okay.
Because politics of Mount Kenya is so competitive.
It's fast and furious.
It's fast, furious. You sleep 1 minute and the train is gone.
All right.
Mount Kenya has the highest levels of voter turnouts across the country. Okay. And therefore, what happens is that let the parties be there. Okay. The more the parties, the higher the turnout. All right. That's because everybody seems to mobilize her own group to come out. Okay. So the more we have parties, the more we will see most people coming up to vote. Yeah, yeah. In other words, what you're saying that Mount Kenya itself as a region is one of the most politically active, politically activated region, in the country. Most of the other regions, they just, there's a bit of activity, but things go slower. Exactly. And they are always waiting for their leaders to chart the way forward. And so, but in Mount Kenya, it's always very, volatile. Yes. A lot of conversation going, a lot of movement underground, and so you are part of that. You want to be part of that game plan, part of the conversation on the ground. Yes. And by the way, talking about things on the ground, yes. That's what Kenyans Vitu kwa ground.
Yeah, vitu kwa ground. Yeah. So, but before that, let me just read a comment here. Hagai Owiro is following us. I'm happy seeing Apostle Ken, my spiritual mentor, soaring high, both in the spiritual and in political arena. Keep going, sir. We are coming behind you. That's very good. Sydney were facts. Big mind Ken. That's the way for future. Wow. I'm happy seeing apostle, man. We only have one apostle in Life Church, but we have many apostles. Some people call me bishop, so I think so. Yeah. Ken, you are probably my senior when it comes to absolutely. Here we are on the Morning Digest. We are focusing on Mount Kenya region, and Ken Ngure is the youth leader at TSP Party, and so he's involved in youth mobilization, the focus for TSP, and I'm really not speaking for them, but you know, Ken is telling us what they really are focusing on. They are focusing on agribusiness and trade, and focusing on the young people in particular. Very good, Ken. So we see in the Mount Kenya region a lot of activity, yes. A lot of activity, and I like what you've described, the scenario of the political turnaround, you know, what you call it, turnaround, even in the workplace when you have a turnover. Yes. So yeah, the word I was looking for is turnover. The political turnover, representation turnover is very high in Mount Kenya. Yes. So basically what you're saying, there is a lot of opportunity. Absolutely. 38, you said how many political parties? 35. 35 political parties active in central Kenya. Absolutely. 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 So now then 2022 is coming. Yes. So what is going to happen? First, you see, in politics, you create a wave. Okay. You ride it, and you make sure that your boat rides on that wave. Absolutely. And until you come to the shores. Okay. So what will happen is that this week, last week you saw 3 leaders coming together. Moses Kuria of Chama cha Kazi, Martha Karua of MT.KENYA, and Honorable Mwangi Kionjuri of the Service Party. The 3 came together, they had a presser at Serena Hotel, and they gave a direction. Yes. So what will happen is that, and this week, two major things will happen. One, we'll have the ruling about BBI on Thursday. All right. Another thing that will happen is that these 3 leaders who come together will gather another 11 political parties to come together. And now, these 11 political parties will begin a conversation around Mount Kenya. Okay. Because as it stands now, Mount Kenya is a swing vote. It's not a stronghold. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the big thing. Mount Kenya is a swing vote. Is a swing vote. Okay. Now, when you are a swing vote, 2 things happen. Yes. You either ride and get opportunities and get what you want. Yes. Or you are used by people to get what they want. Okay. Okay. Case scenario. Yes. Western Kenya. Yes. They've always been a swing vote. ODM comes, picks what they want, and they leave them. Okay. ANC comes, picks what they want. Ford Kenya comes, picks what they want. Yes. But the people are left in the same state suffering. Yeah, and a few politicians scrambling and talking and saying, no, we are going to organize the Luya vote and all that and all that. Luya unity. It never goes anywhere. Which never comes to fruition. But now, the case for Mount Kenya. Yes. This 11 political leaders who will come this week. Yes. They will initiate a process, which we are already doing in TSP, of writing a document of the things we need as Mount Kenya. Guaranteed minimum returns for Mount Kenya. Absolutely. That will be given to every presidential candidate who is vying next year. Okay. And what will happen is that we'll write what we want done for us in agriculture, infrastructure, on issues of what you'll do to our youth, drugs and substance abuse. And we will have this document, and we are inviting even the churches in Mount Kenya. Yes. Come to us, we are open. Tell us what you would want done as a young person, as a youth. And once this document is complete, across board, we know. So we are going to go into a break. Yes. We are going to go into a break. Ken, sorry for stopping you right in the middle of something very, very important. But we're going to revisit that. We're going to revisit that conversation. What is going to happen this week? You know, the stakes for Mount Kenya and how they are being, prosecuted, what's going on, the plans and the positioning. We're going to return to that. All right, so thank you for following us on this conversation. We ask you to continue to, give us your comments. We'll read them as we go on. So keep watching. We go into a very, very short break. We're coming back to continue on this scramble for Mount Kenya vote.
There is no town, there is no city, there is no nation without fathers.
They went before us and set the stage of what we see in the gospel today.
It's immediately when I got saved.
Wow.
The Lord placed in my heart passion for souls.
They fought the battles and prepared the way.
They were told this miracle worker is here from Kenya. He has troubled so many churches in Kenya. Troubled. Be careful. Others said he's a false prophet, but the sick did not listen to that. They needed it.
What did they do that we are not doing?
We believed the word of God that it is true. I believe the word of God that by his stripes I was healed.
Do not fear, for you will not be ashamed.
The gospel then and the gospel now.
God says, do not be dismayed.
We didn't have the technical gospel that we have today. If you believe, bow your head, raise your hand, come forward. No. No. People just stood up and began to repent by themselves.
Wow.
Others crying on the floor, saying, save me, save me, save me.
Oh, Jesus.
Dressing the mantles.
Welcome back to the Morning Digest. This is your host, Godfrey Geshuki. We are here on Elevate TV, and we are dealing with the matter here, the scramble for Mount Kenya vote. A very big, huge block. And by the way, for purposes of statistics, let's just update you a little bit. Mount Kenya region itself in 2017 presented 4.4 million votes. And the turnout that time was 84%, the average turnout. Rift Valley presents 3.9 million votes, coming very, very close to Mount Kenya region. That is represent about 20%, while Mount Kenya represent 22% of the national voter blocks. And then we have Nyanza at 2.7 with a turnaround in 2017 of a turnout of 80%, which was very impressive. Nairobi, which is Western, is 2.7. Nyanza and Western are very, very close to each other. Nairobi 2.25 million, Coast 1.7, Lower Eastern 1.5, Northeastern 0.9 million votes. So those are very significant. Those are interesting numbers. So basically, I think most opinions, and Ken, I think before we went to, we came on the set, we were talking about the scenarios from the beginning, because I want us to, although we were on another conversation about what is going to happen this week, we can use that as our summary. We can go that to summarize. But let's first of all give an overview of the scenarios since 1992 of why Mount Kenya is a significant and a strategic, voter bloc.
Yeah. So finishing up on the earlier, so the thing is, anybody in Mount Kenya bring us resolutions or proposals of what you'd like done by any person who's winning the presidency next year. And once you bring us, we'll look through them, we'll read through them, and we'll compile them. And whoever is coming to vie for presidency in Mount Kenya must agree to our proposals.
Absolutely.
reason being is because of our interests in this nation. I mean, in terms of investments and in terms of numbers. Looking at the numbers you have just given, 4.4 million in 2017.
Yes.
There is growth now.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we were looking at people who have cleared school. There's an addition of 2.5 million who will be first-time voters. So to this 4.4, you've said, add 2.5. I mean, we are clocking to 7.98 million there.
Okay.
So nobody can take us for granted on a block of 8 million votes.
Okay.
So now, looking at Mount Kenya, historically, 1992, we had two candidates, Mwai Kibaki, Kenneth Matiba.
Yes.
The man I'm named after.
Yes.
I mean, the two of them got 26%, 19%.
Yes.
Moi won at 36%.
Yes.
If the two would have combined forces, they would have gotten, 44% and beaten Moi fair and square.
Absolutely. And that we are talking about way back in 1992.
30 years ago.
After the, after the famous Clause 2A,
Clause 2A,
removal of the
Clause
Clause 2A,
Yes.
and the beginning of the multipartyism. So these two guys basically split the votes in Mount Kenya.
Yeah,
That's 92. 97.
97. What happened between 92 and 97, Matiba's health deteriorated.
Okay.
And he quit active politics.
Okay.
So by 1992, Kibaki was the sole presidential candidate.
From the region.
From the region.
Yes.
Competing against Moi.
Yes.
Moi was able to galvanize the votes from all other regions of Kenya against Mount Kenya.
Okay.
And he won.
Yeah.
And
I checked some numbers here.
Yes.
Moi actually was able to garner 2.4 million votes against Mwai
1.8.
Kibaki's 1.8 million.
Yeah, a difference of 600,000.
Yes.
I mean, and you know, in that high stakes politics, national level politics,
Yes.
one vote,
Yes.
one vote
Yes.
is very risky. That's why
Absolutely.
you hear 50 plus one.
Exactly.
Just that one. So Moi won. By 2002, Kibaki had emboldened himself under the Democratic Party. He had shifted now to NAC and was able to bring in a coalition, NAC coalition,
Yes.
of parties and of people across the country.
Okay.
So what happened between 1992 and 2002? The people of Mount Kenya suffered so much.
Yes.
I mean, the coffee boom of the 70s and 80s broke down.
Yes.
Coffee went down. Tea prices went down.
Yes.
Pyrethrum went down.
Yes.
Cotton went down.
Yes.
You know the gineries in Kirinyaga where you come from.
Yeah, they all shut down.
They all
and,
shut down.
I mean, it was
was a
economically, the Mount Kenya region suffered.
Really suffered
yeah,
in the hands of the KANU regime.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, because of that suffering,
Okay.
in our days when we could see we are suffering.
Yes.
I was young, but I could see how things are going.
Yes.
And the historical suffering our grandparents used to tell us that happened in the times of the colonizers.
Yeah, the colonial period, yes.
I mean, in that period, the people who are alive, the people who were very healthy in between 92 and 2002,
Yeah.
they used to tell us what happened before 1963.
Yes.
So coupled with the suffering of colonial times and the KANU regime,
Yes.
the Mount Kenya people are always very touchy regarding politics. I mean, they don't take anything for granted.
Absolutely. Okay.
And now looking
I'll
at
grant you that. Yeah.
looking at now statistics coming up to that.
Yes.
Even right now,
Yeah.
that was 2002. We come to 2002, we had two candidates.
Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta, Mwai Kibaki, both from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
I mean, Mwai Kibaki won fair and square.
Yeah, Mwai Kibaki won. Actually, he got 4.5
Yes.
million votes. And then Uhuru, who was running on a KANU ticket, won. Ghana 1.8 million votes. Way behind Mwai Kibaki. And I remember Uhuru Kenyatta just conceding nicely.
Yeah.
It was very, very. Give his concession, speech, and everything was nice and tidy, and the country turned around.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And,
Okay.
Coming to that around of the year of 2000, illegal sects and groups had started coming up, youth being disenfranchised and disenchanted from the system and how the reality of life. Come 2007, Mount Kenya had a candidate. Come 2013, there was a candidate from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Come 2017, we've had a candidate.
Yes.
But even now, this 2022 we are approaching, there are people who have declared interest from Mount Kenya.
Actually, by the way,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
I like the analysis.
Yes.
I like the fact that we have had all these kind of things playing out.
Yes.
But now there is a very big question mark. An open question. The open question is, what is going to happen in Mount Kenya, given that, and I've read a couple of opinions, write-ups, that there is lack of a clear successor to Uhuru Kenyatta in Mount Kenya. The region is a major determinant of political leadership in the country. Those are some of the things that are being written out. So here we are. Mount Kenya is not very clear who is taking over from Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
So there is a kind of a gap,
Yes, a vacuum.
A vacuum, a power
A power vacuum.
a power vacuum. I guess that's what's now the big question, and what is going to happen. So that's the genesis of the scramble.
The scramble, absolutely.
Okay.
So what will happen is, we have so many parties, as we said, 35 of them.
Yes.
We even have presidential candidates. Mwangi Wairia with his Usawa party has said he wants.
Yes.
JB Muturi has said he wants to run for presidency. Jimmy Wanjigi has said he wants to run for presidency and ODM.
Yeah.
But what these presidential aspirants from Mount Kenya will face is what Mother Karua, Peter Kenneth, and Ole Kiapi faced in 2013.
All right.
Where you are so behind.
They were completely annihilated.
Yes, that's that. They were annihilated and they didn't have impact.
Okay.
The next successor of Uhuru Kenyatta in Mount Kenya will be decided by numbers on 9th of August 2022, one day after the elections. The person who shall rise up with the majority, whose party shall have majority seats in parliament and in county assemblies and in all positions, that will become the next successor. There are three methods of becoming a regional leader or a regional kingpin. Method number one is what happened to Uhuru Kenyatta, where the old men in the region, led by John Mishuki, came and said, this is our leader after we leave. The generation of Kibaki, Mwai Kibaki, former president, Mishuki, when they were retiring in 2013, they pointed out to Uhuru Kenyatta. There was a power transfer from the older generation to the younger generation.
Absolutely.
That's method number.
And Moi had actually begun that conversation in
way in 2002
by trusting Uhuru Kenyatta to stand in for him in Kano.
Yeah, so he had 2002 to 2013. He had gone through a maturation process.
Okay.
That's method number one. Method number two is where what happened in the Rift Valley. The older generation of Moi and the younger generation of William Ruto and the likes.
Yes.
Where William Ruto comes and tells the KANU regime of the older wazes, Mzee Moi, Mzee Biwot, Mzee Henry Kosgei, with a warrior spirit, which is characteristic of people who are from that side.
That region, yes.
Gideon Moi, William Ruto comes and sees there's a vacuum. 2002, KANU has lost.
Yes.
He is able to galvanize by force, pick the region from the hands of KANU and takes them to ODM by force. I mean, that's a method of force.
Okay. Yeah, so someone who is very, forceful in terms of their mobilization capacity.
And able to talk to people and able to win the people to his side.
Okay.
It's not the Wazes who gave him, he took it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll grant you that, yes.
And there's another method now, the third method of where it's numbers that decide.
Okay.
It's numbers that decide.
The tyranny of numbers.
Yes.
The tyranny of numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
Good. So this fourth method.
Yes.
There looks to be a vacuum, yes.
Yes.
I told you we're bringing in a document that will harmonize all the interests of the people in the mountain.
Okay.
And beyond politicians, we include leaders in business, we include church leaders, and I would like the church to pronounce itself very much on issues that affect Mount Kenya.
What they want to see done differently in Mount Kenya.
Just like the church pronounced itself very vocally during the constitutional process of 2005.
The constitutional amendment process,
the church was very vocal on issues to do with abortion.
Yes.
The church was very vocal to do on issues with Catholic courts. The church was very vocal on issues that were banning in that constitution.
Okay.
This is the same that we need the church to do.
Okay.
Now, this document will lead us to what we call the Limuru Conference.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you talk about Limuru.
We are going for Limuru 3.
Man, Ken, I think this is amazing. This is amazing. So, Ken here is telling us that there is going to be another major Limuru conference. And Limuru, by the way, is a platform where Kenyan politics are prosecuted. It's a platform where, you know, when men gather in Limuru and take lots of Limuru tea, things shift and happen in this country. So, so that's very interesting, Ken. I'm not aware that there is a conference coming up in Limuru.
Yes, in 3 months'
Make sure
time.
you include my name in that particular list, because I think I want to be part of history making in Limuru.
This is Limuru 3 conference.
Limuru 3.
Yes, we had Limuru 1 in the 1969.
Yes.
We had Limuru 2, 2A, 2B, and now we are going for Limuru 3.
Okay.
Where we are able to galvanize everybody in the region and decide our interests.
Okay.
But as you said, yes, there's a vacuum at the top level, and the vacuum will be picked up by numbers because of the cutthroat competition that is available right now, and availability of 35 political parties.
Yes.
Whoever will pick it will use the William Kanu regime, the Rift Valley model that we've just spoken about, of taking it by force. And that's why, I mean, the violent shall take it by force.
Absolutely.
Let me quote that scripture for you.
Let me give you. There's a guy here. Okay, Medic Karanja. I see the great minds. Our party leader. Oh, okay. So this is one of your His Excellency Mwangi Kijori have for the youth, and absolutely this is the chorus we need to be rehearsing. I mean, it's our time as youths to change the doomed future on matters of drugs and unemployment. Okay, fine. So Medic Karanja is actually contributing to that particular conversation.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying, Ken, remember, as you know, as a platform, you know, ours is to give you a platform. So we would like to hear, you know, the various side of these conversations, because we know there is something up to grabs. I like the idea of Limuru 3.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that what needs to happen right now is that people should bring to the forefront their agenda.
Absolutely.
Whatever they want to see different, that needs to come to the table.
Yes.
And the TSP is actually chosen to be the champion, to champion and to rally the Mount Kenya. You know, we talk about your boss, Mwangi Kinjori. We saw Mother Karua was on the seat with him, and Moses Kuria and all that. And so are there other people that you think are going to come to the party? And do you have an idea who else? Because you've said you expect 10 parties to come together, perhaps, and begin to champion the Mount Kenya cause.
Well, I'm sure, and this week probably you hear another seasoned politician from Mount Kenya, a man I respect, Honorable Kiraito Morongi, Governor of Meru, making a statement maybe before the end of this week.
Okay.
So this is an inter-parties forum that will bring all those 35 political parties on board.
Right.
And therefore, the invitation has been extended to everybody.
Okay.
All of these 35 political parties.
Okay.
And most of them, 11 have confirmed.
Okay.
So we are sure the rest will come in slowly. I mean,
along the way.
And you know this thing, every time you send out an invitation, there are those who pick up very fast.
Yes.
There are those who pick up slowly.
They are consulting their base.
They are consulting their base, and there are those who come last.
Okay.
Who come last. One of the reasons why Mount Kenya is so keen on 2022 is because of another factor. One, the government has 3 arms. The executive, controlled by President Uhuru Kenyatta from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
The legislature, led by Justin Muturi from Embu, Mount Kenya.
Yes.
The judiciary, led by Martha Koome from Meru, Mount Kenya.
Right.
So As of now, Mount Kenya heads government, the three arms of government.
Okay.
Of course,
Okay.
we have the Speaker, Ken Lusaka, but in terms of numbers, he falls under Justin Muturi.
Yes.
So we are leading three arms of government. The term for the president...
is that supposed to be a good thing? So,
well, I mean, in
from
terms
a
of
political
regional
point-
balance,
yes.
in terms of regional balance, that should not be the case.
Yes.
But in terms of, are the three there because of merit?
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the other thing. That's the other thing,
Yes.
Ken. I think
On
whenever we-
meritocracy, the three qualify. On regional balance,
yes.
you
There-
may say
there's
they
a problem.
don't.
I mean,
there's a problem.
You could say
Yes.
there is a, it doesn't look pretty.
It doesn't look
pretty in terms of regional balance.
Yes.
And regional balance is also a political,
A political tool.
It's a political argument.
It's a political argument.
Largely. And sometimes it becomes very difficult to fulfill regional balance unless you force it.
Unless you force it, yes.
And so you say, if you go meritocracy, more likely than not, some of those very, very critical seats are going to be filled up by people from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Mount Kenya, somebody the other day, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, made a statement that Mount Kenya region, their voters are some of the most sophisticated voters.
Completely.
And so, plus, of course, highly educated population,
Yes.
very, providing some of the largest, block of middle class people. So they have a kind of an edge, a historical edge.
Yes.
So when it comes to regional balance, that there can be an argument that that's not the case, and maybe perhaps that could be challenged. But Mount Kenya region seems to have control of government at the moment.
Yes. And because we have control of government at the moment, the executive led by Uhuru Kenyatta, the term is ending.
Yes.
The legislature led by Justin Muturi, the term is ending.
Right.
We left with the judiciary under Hon Martha Koome.
That's established.
That's well established. She has the tenure to run.
Yes.
If we cede the judiciary and the executive, whoever is coming, what will we get in return? Because
Absolutely.
politics is basically interests.
Ken, you could say that over and over. And I think, on this morning show, as we talk about the scramble for Mount Kenya, I think one of the things that we cannot run away is the idea that politics is about the interest.
You cannot run away from that.
Okay.
Because politics, governance, and development are intertwined.
Yes.
You cannot have development without politics. Can't have politics without development.
All right.
And therefore, the interests of the region of Mount Kenya
Yes.
comes first for those of us who are there.
Okay.
And it is imperative for the people of other regions to bring their interests first.
Okay.
I mean, and I have seen the people from the pastoralists region. They are in different political parties.
Right.
But when they come to parliament, they table their interests as they have actually have a pastoralists community group,
Okay.
which is funded by the state, even in the meetings they do.
Yes.
So therefore, us as Mount Kenya, we have tabled our interests.
Okay.
We need this done on agriculture.
Yes.
So it is imperative for every region to bring their interests on the table.
Okay.
Yes. And therefore, as we look at now,
So
look-
I will push you back on I'll bring something to the twist. As we kind of like wind down, the big elephant in the house
Yes.
is the famous bottom-up economic model.
Yes.
While we may not have enough time to speak into that at length, but how is that going to influence how this whole conversation spins? Especially what you're describing. The coming together, the galvanization of the various political parties and actors within the Mount Kenya region, and then there is this conversation about bottom up. Plus, so do you think that those forces are going to come together and merge at one point or another in the political conversation?
yes, what I told you earlier is that in politics, you create a wave, you ride on it,
Yes.
until your boat comes to the shore.
Absolutely.
So there is this wave of the bottom up,
Yes.
led by the team from UDA.
Yes.
There is this wave of agriculture and trade and the interests of the mountain,
Yes.
led by Mwangi Kionjuri and the rest.
Okay.
The two waves will merge because the idea of the two waves
Yes.
is to lift up the lives of the people,
Okay.
the downtrodden, those who are suffering, those who are doing hand-to-mouth businesses,
Yes.
to lift them up.
The people at the bottom of the
The
economic
people at the-
pyramid.
exactly, those people who are at the bottom, to lift them up, and through empowerment, through very skilled, tailored empowerment,
Right.
until they come to a place where they are self-sufficient, and even at that level now, they have been at the bottom of the pyramid. You lift them and empower them up economically.
All right.
Until now, you can put them in the tax, you can expand the tax base and have these people paying tax.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've heard about the whole. I know there is something to be said about, for example, the empowering the people at the bottom of the pyramid. So whatever idea, whatever label you give to that particular movement, what you are describing, the wave. So there is actually a real problem to be solved there. The
Yes.
people at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The real issue is the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yes.
We focus on that.
Uh-huh.
And part of it, we have quoted Mwai Kibaki,
Right.
a man I adore and whose impact still lives on up to now. Mwai Kibaki is the man who brought up Mwangi Kionjuri.
Right.
Mwangi Kionjuri was in DP and as a youth leader.
Okay.
He's the person who worked with Mother Karua from 1992
Right.
as the Geshogu MP for all those years he's been there.
Okay.
He's the President Mwai Kibaki is the person under whom Moses Kuria worked in PNU.
Okay.
Therefore, and when President Mwai came, he lifted up the young persons who were at the bottom of the pyramid
Yes.
by a simple thing, lowering the taxation for motorbikes.
All right.
And those guys went into boda and went into self-employment.
Absolutely.
So the people at the bottom of the pyramid
Yes.
know their problems,
Okay.
and most of them even have the solutions.
Okay.
If you go and meet somebody hawking eggs here with a container, you know,
Yeah, there's usually a container,
Yes.
a
bucket.
plastic bucket with eggs,
Yes.
and some and what do you call them?
and like a dish with
some kachumbari.
kachumbari, yes.
Yes.
That person will always tell you, mimi nikipata trolley. You
Yes.
know, if I get that trolley to wheel around,
From the basket to
from the
trolley.
basket trolley,
Yes.
that person will be able to tell you, my income will shift from earning 100 or from earning 500
Yes.
to 2,000 shillings.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you, just walk right here across this place.
In Nairobi.
In Nairobi, where we used to have Jack and Jill,
Yeah,
OTC.
bus station,
OTC.
OTC.
Walking across that road, Race Course Road, I can tell you there are people with those trolleys,
Yes.
and per day they go home with 2,000 shillings.
Absolutely, absolutely, Ken. Ken, sorry, we're going to be running out of time here. But what you're so you're saying there is something to be said about the people at the bottom.
Yes.
And there are solutions that need to be crafted.
Yes.
Very, very specific.
Yes.
And you say, for example, you quote the Mwai Kibaki, approach. One of the problems he was able to, to deal with was introducing incentives
Yes.
for the motorbike. When the motorbike industry was emerging, he introduced incentives by knocking off some of the taxes.
Yes.
And making it possible for those, equipment to come into the play. Today, it's a whole thriving industry employing thousands of young people.
Yes.
So I guess that's what this whole conversation around empowering people at the bottom is going to be speaking into.
Yes.
Other than the symbolism. So I want you to summarize that, because we're kind of like almost out of time, and say what you have to say about the whole summary of what is going to be done on the to the people at the bottom.
Well, one of the things that we need to be done for the people at the bottom
Yes.
is going down first, identifying their problems.
Okay.
Then a policy shift.
Yes.
Change of policy.
Right.
Complete change of policy.
Absolutely.
At the macro level and at the micro level.
Okay.
Number 2 is creation of cottage industries.
Yes.
Case scenario,
Solution.
Kirinyaga County
Yes.
produces a lot of tomatoes,
Yes.
but the whole county has no industry that can make tomato sauce.
Yeah, add value.
I mean, value addition.
Yes,
And
exactly.
we have, as TSP, we are going across the 19 counties where we have, where we do have presence.
Yes.
Identifying needs of the people and solutions.
Absolutely.
And those will be part of it.
Okay.
A part of what will be on the table for us.
Absolutely.
That's what we'll negotiate with.
Absolutely. We got to end it there. We have run out of time on this particular very, very hot debate on the scramble for Mount Kenya votes, and we got to bring this conversation to an end. Thank you very much, Ken, and what you've opened up for us. I believe we will revisit this conversation, and talk about those. I like the problem identification, policy shift, and solutions. And one of the things is this whole cottage industry movement. Absolutely, that's the conversation. That's the conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry that we got to end this conversation this morning. This is the Morning Digest. Thank you very much, Ken, for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Have a great day, and we'll see you another time, same place, same time, and see you. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.